Hey, Walter Sorrells back with more tips for the knife maker. Today, resurfacing the platen on my grinder. So I'm one of those guys who believes in the old saying that it's a poor carpenter who blames his tools. You know, there's a temptation always to think, well, if I just get one more tool, if I get one more gizmo, that everything I do is going to be better. Most of the time, it's your skill, it's your tenacity, it's your attention to detail that gets the job done. But, you can't neglect the importance of your gear either. I hate doing maintenance. I just want to be making knives. I want to be making something new and cleaning things up, flattening things out, fixing things. I just don't really like doing it. But sometimes you got to do it. Sometimes you got to break down and recognize that if you don't have your gear in top working condition, it's going to cause you problems. So that's what we're going to be working on here today. So the platen is the flat surface on your grinder that you use to back your belt when you're trying to grind things flat. So this can become a problem if that surface no longer is flat. That's kind of what's happened on my grinder. I've been using it for years, and over a certain period of time, it kind of dishes out there where your knife is constantly applying pressure to the platen. So what I'm going to do today is to take that platen off of the grinder, flatten it back out, and hopefully that is going to help make grinding flat surfaces a little easier on there. In fact, I guarantee you that it is. So let's go ahead and jump on into it. What I'll be showing is the resurfacing of the platen of the flat grinding arm on my grinder. Over time, the platen, that's this flat surface that backs the belt for flat grinding, wears away in spots where you do a lot of work. I tend to grind my knives right in this one area, so over time, it's started to dish out a little here. It's just a few thousandths of an inch, maybe 20 or 30 thousandths. That doesn't sound like much, but it's actually gotten to the point where it's having a negative impact on my grinding. Now, I hate maintenance. Hate it. So I've put this off for way too long, but it's just time to get it done. I'll begin by removing the platen on my Bader B3 belt grinder. Before I do, however, I'll check the orientation so that it goes back in exactly the same position. It's about a 1/16 of an inch or 1.5 millimeters proud of the idler wheels. It's basically just a big piece of angle iron that's been machined a little. Simple to remove. 2 bolts right here. Amazing, after well over a decade on this grinder, the bolts still come free like they were just installed yesterday. I'll clamp the platen in the vise on my mill. Using a dial indicator, I'll adjust it to make sure that it's oriented more or less true. Since the platen's adjustable, this doesn't have to be correct to the thousandth or anything. You basically just don't want to take off any more meat than you need to. I also check that it's more or less true from front to back in case I need to shim it so that it's square, but it's plenty close in that dimension too. Now, using a fly cutter, I'll just flatten it out. I'm dropping it about 5 thousandths per pass. You can see how deep this dished out area is. I really should have done this a long time ago. It's still possible to maintain decent grind lines, but I had the feeling recently that it was taking more concentration and screwing around than was really necessary to keep a good, clean, crisp grind line. One more pass and it's done. I'll take it out of the vise and make sure everything looks okay. Then I'll break the corners a little with a mill file. Of course, there are milling marks now, and I could sand it to give it a slick finish, but I don't think it'll be an issue. As you can see, this is a dead simple milling job. Even a non-machinist like me can do it. The whole job, including moving lights and cameras around, took me 1 hour and 15 minutes. If you have a similar issue but don't have a mill, this is something a machine shop could do for you in a heartbeat. Now, back on the grinder, making sure the clearances are the same as before, and it's ready to go. Man, what a difference that makes. I really didn't realize just how much I was fighting the machine just to maintain good grind lines, especially grinding on the left side of the platen. It's really one of those boiled frog things. The degradation of the surface is so slow that you don't notice a difference from day to day or even month to month, and you develop compensatory mechanisms. But now, wow, much easier. Oddly enough, I like that machined finish. It feels like there's some sort of aerodynamic effect, sort of like the ground effect on race cars, that actually makes the belt stick to the platen more tightly than it does when it's got a slick finish, which gives it a very predictable feel. So even if you don't have problems with your grinder or whatever, there is a lesson here, which is that it's not about the gear, except when it is about the gear. Sometimes you got to back up, do a little maintenance, and it makes it a lot easier for you to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish with your equipment. Hey guys, if you found value in this video, I hope you'll consider partnering with the channel to help us bring more videos, better videos, more knives, more techniques, all that cool stuff. Click the link to Patreon to help this channel. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, bro, what are you waiting on? And check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Also, if you're into Japanese swords, check out my website, waltersorrellsblades.com, where you'll see more of my work and where you'll find videos about the making of Japanese swords, along with mounting, fittings, polishing, hamones, all kinds of good stuff. Now, more videos.